Mountain God needs no donations, only worship please. Chapter 55. Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of his stories. The sight of Cao Cao's death was that of a dog pile. Dozens of powerful entities smashing Cao Cao's form with deadly magics, sending thrown swords and spears through him. Jeanne didn't fare any better as the genocidal woman's dragon-shaped mass of conjured holy swords shattered with the swords disappearing as she died to Vali punching her in the throat. But in the mass of confusion of bodies and magic colliding with one another, everyone seemed to have lost sight of Cao Cao. And in that moment, the king of capitalism struck. Using some kind of invisibility cloak or something, he used an enchanted dagger to quick lop off Cao Cao's head and barely avoided the barrage of magic that seemed intent on utterly destroying Cao Cao's form. As everyone had come to the conclusion that if Cao Cao's body and soul were utterly destroyed with no clear victor, I could and would give literally everyone a bit of something. Because almost everyone in my gamer group wanted those damned waifu tokens to bring their waifus/husbandos from Orario to Earth. But they didn't see who had taken Cao Cao's head in all the chaos while the rest of the craziness was happening at the same time. Alright my gamer, murderobos, that's enough, ha ha ha. I couldn't help but chuckle as I spoke with my deep voice rumbling past old hell and into the underworld's border where many people still were. Everyone paused and listened for my response, as they had obviously came for not only the reward, but for the humans. To get Orario back up and going after I shut off its connection section so the humans couldn't transmigrate to that realm. While they waited, I snapped my fingers and the invisible figure was teleported in front of me, who was the one holding Cao Cao's head. Then with a wave of my hand, his invisibility cloak was thrown off him as I projected a hologram of both our appearances in the mass of people as I began to speak. Congratulations, President Donald Trump, for assassinating Cao Cao. Honestly, out of everyone I have met in this life, you are literally the last person I thought would be killing an ultimate class being. I spoke wryly as I saw my gamers go pale as they realized they literally got cut by a fat bastard with Cheeto-colored hair. Trump held out Cao Cao's head to me and spoke solemnly. Yes indeed, I am certainly not a frontline combatant. But thankfully America is a wonderful nation full of enterprising youths and was capable of helping me with enchanted objects, allowing me to do what I did. He said before taking a breath and continuing. Lord Moria, may I make my wish? He asked respectfully, and I could hear the lamentations of gamers across the world as they screamed in outrage at Donald Trump stealing their wish for IRL companionship. I nodded while Sakuya teleported back and forth to bring me a Dr. Pepper from the care package Trump sent last time he visited the island of Gensokyo. I wish for America to become the greatest. I wish for a reactor that could output insane amounts of electricity so that I could supply all of America with its electricity. Also, could you put a magical and physical wall to keep out all supernatural and illegal aliens from teleporting or otherwise sneaking in? He added with a heartfelt plea. I blinked at his wish. His wish wasn't difficult at all, with infinite power being not at difficult when I could directly tap into the bleed of the dimensional gap, which had infinite dimensional oscillations going on that could produce the power. So after a couple of seconds to map out the thought process of how I could do it, I nodded with a smile as I snapped my finger. Good, while you live, President Donald Trump, there will be a template in every major city in the US. All citizens can easily go to Orario to get a clone template, and should they touch their template to their site's template, they can fuel their homes and business by plugging into the templates. I finished explaining. Then I coughed as I wryly said. As for putting up barriers and walls around America, the nation isn't within my preview, so I must decline that wish. Trump frowned and added on with a bit of pleading. Lord Moria, at least block out the Canadians and their doom geese. I paused and thought about it. And then snapped my fingers and teleported Donald Trump back to the teleporter he used to get onto the border of old hell and the underworld. Wonder why he hates the Canadians? I muttered before seeing the hologram was still live, and I snapped my fingers to dismiss it while wondering how the world was going to react to the US actually making electricity free. Actually, that means electric cars can actually work now, sorta. I thought ruefully before turning to Sakuya, who raised an eyebrow at my action. Sakuya smiled, and with a time skip she took my hand and we zipped back into my mountain for some actual peace and quiet while everyone was mentally recovering from my latest antics. But as we landed back in my cathedral, I heard a loud explosion and my eyes rolled as Flandra stomped into my throne room pouting at max size as she dramatically pointed at me. Moria, you big meanie. You had a huge war for like 3 hours and you never told me. I could have blown up all the baddies easily," she said dramatically and stomped her feet in anger, making her large breasts bounce greatly in the motion, making my lips twitch wryly as Sakuya coughed. Flandra flinched, not expecting the dummy mommy silver-haired maid to be all but looming over her with one of her time skips, but as Flandra and Sakuya started arguing, I looked back outwards, to see how Issei/Drake were interacting with Valis/Albion. And how Drake was verbally bullying Albion for still being stuck in his sacred gear.